Hello everybody and welcome back to On Point HQ. And first off, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that contributed to the top painting tips video. I have no idea that it was going to be that popular. It was excellent. All the different videos being made and the comments people were leaving. Yeah, colour me very surprised, but it just goes to show the community spirit we have. It was yeah, it was really good to see. Just a quick note, if people have made videos about it that I haven't seen because I may not be subscribed to them, I'm aware that quite a few people did them. I'm not even subscribed to. If there's videos out there, can you please let me know so that I can go and have a look, sub to the channel and just leave a nice comment. That'll be really helpful. Thank you. Anyway, on to the main part of this video. So you'll notice in previous videos I've been working on this small SAS Desert Raider project for bolt action, and I've actually finished the infantry part of it, which comprises of 3 8-man squads and a HQ unit. It's quite a really limited theatre selector, the list I'm using. I think it's the 1941 Special Forces. But all you can take is HQ, infantry, Lewis bomb teams and transports. That's it. So I've opted for this. I've done updates in previous videos, but this is the entire lot completed. So what I'm going to do is show you some pictures of the things I've completed recently, and also just a recap on the sections I've already completed. And I'm going to do a bit of a painting guide as well, not an overly in-depth one. Just outline the paints I've used and the techniques. I did quite a few different things when painting these, so I just want to run over exactly how I went about painting them. So on the screen now you will see the completed 3rd section. Again, a lot of, I think only one of this 8 haven't. Oh no, the Bren Gunner. So out of the 8, 6 have had some form of alteration, conversion, or kit bash. I was going through one of my bits boxes and I found a couple of old Lee Enfield rifles from the British Infantry box, kind of the old Warlord one, which I put together years ago. So they've been knocking around for a while. So I've used those to make it look like they're just carrying the weapons rather than firing them. As always, there's a smattering of Tommy guns and rifles, and I've used the prone gunner for the first time. I only really wanted to use the one, and I was a bit concerned about with the Bayesian technique I was using. I didn't think this was going to work, but it's turned out okay actually. In fact, the whole project has turned out better than I expected. It's worked out really well. So that's the third and final complete infantry section. Up next is the HQ unit, which is just comprised of one first lieutenant and his assistant. So the first lieutenant, he's clutching a Tommy gun, and again that's from the plastic US Marine box. The other arm is actually from the Commonwealth Infantry box. I think it's meant to be holding or blowing a whistle. All I did was snap the whistle off and then filed the hand down. I just wanted to give him a real at ease or commanding pose. So I think just by doing that, I think that's worked quite well. His assistant is completely out of the box. No conversions there at all. So he's just quite a vanilla looking dude there. So it's a 2-man HQ section. And up on screen now will be the other 2 that you may have seen in the previous videos. Again, most of them have had some form of unique alteration, kit bash, or conversion. I can mention that in another video, out of the 26, on the 23 have had some form of alteration, or kit bash, etc. And that's really what I wanted to aim for. The idea of this was to have a real bunch of characters of cavaliers and rogues and adventurers doing their own thing in the Western Desert. And the Commonwealth Infantry box really helped with this. The heads in there are really unique, the equipment, it's just, yeah, really good. So with what I need to do now next is source 3 Chevy LRDG trucks. Add those, and that'll be it. What I might do as well is there's a special rule with this selector, and I can sort of augment up to 2 of the infantry sections with a major or a captain. So I've got one body left from the box. So I think I might kit bash him into a higher officer, major, or captain, and he will be added to one of the infantry sections. Once that's done, that'll bring me in at about 1,000 points. So at that point, I'm going to call it quits and move on to something else. So on to how I went about painting these. Again, in previous videos, people will, if you've seen them, people will know that I speed paint, I batch paint, I use limited palettes, and I try and keep things really, really simple, including lots of washes. That was one of the things that came out of the painter tip videos. People love washes, and I am one of those people. I don't think I could survive if I wasn't allowed to use any form of wash, but there we go. So I'm going to run through quickly how I went painting these. Again, slightly different to how I normally do them. So flesh, I normally, for my flesh on all minor figures, I use Cadian flesh tone. As these guys are in the desert, I wanted a kind of darker, deeper hue to the flesh. So what I did, I used Cadian flesh tone, and what I did, I added a small drop of Vallejo light rust, sort of a light brown colour. Really diluted that, applied that as the base, and then for the highlight, just very simply used Cadian flesh tone by itself, knowing to lighten it because the wash had brought the flesh right down. So the highlights were just straight out of the pot. Again, water down, and again minimal highlights. There's another one of my things, minimal highlights. So after the flesh, I used was the main uniform colour. So what I did with this, I used khaki grey as the main base, and again this was then hit with an Agrax earth shade wash. Very, very minimal highlights. What I found with the khaki grey, the Agrax works really well with it, and you don't have to do an awful lot of work with the highlights. It really creates natural depth and shadow. I used just khaki grey again just to pick out the real uppermost highlights, but apart from that, didn't really have to do a lot. And I think sort of over egging the pudding, as it were, may have made them pop a bit too much, made them look a bit too stark, which is what something I wanted to avoid. I want a kind of a drab look to these. So just using very, very basic highlights on the uniform really worked. The webbing, I used Vallejo yellow green, and again this was hit with the Agrax wash, and the highlight was again just green, yellow green. I put a very slight dab of Citadel Flash Git yellow in there just to make it a little bit brighter, but not overly bright, and that seems to make it stand out against the khaki grey uniform. The yellow green by itself is quite a dull colour. I thought with a dull khaki you're not going to really see anything, so this kind of brighter highlight makes the webbing stand out. With the weapons, I went for something completely different. I normally paint rifles and wooden parts in Vallejo German camo black brown. This time I went for Vallejo saddle brown, and I used this across all of the brown. So rifles, parts of the submachine guns, and on the officer's map case as well, I used saddle brown. It brought sort of a uniformity to the project, and again just helped me use that limited palette. This was hit with the Agrax wash, and then to highlight, it was saddle brown with a very, very small dab of sunny skin tone from Vallejo, and just picked out the uppermost highlights of the wooden parts, straps, etc. using that. A big change was metallics. With this, what I did, I used a kind of a 50-50 mix of Vallejo gunmetal grey with dark rubber, and that was it. I didn't wash it with Nuln Oil. I didn't apply any further metallics. I wanted to experiment with it and just see how it would look, just a plain flat metallic. And I think I'll be using this moving forward in other projects because it's worked really well. I used this on binoculars as well, that some of the dudes are holding. But yeah, I think I've stumbled onto something that I really, really like there. So no more overly metallic painting for me. And lastly, it was the boots, the gaiters, and the socks. Socks bronze green, gaiters khaki, no, German camo beige, and the boots were just German camo black brown. Again, ink wash, Agrax washes, minimal highlights. In fact, I don't even highlight boots, gaiters and socks. I don't see the point. And that's it. And all in, so 26 miniatures. I think these were painted over the course of 3 weeks or so. I think there was only about 4 or 5 days of actual painting time went into these. Most of the time was painting flesh. I hate painting flesh, and on these they're wearing shorts, which means 50% more flesh than I'm used to. So that was the time consuming part of it. But for the most part, basic colours, wash, basic highlights. Went a bit overboard with the basing, but that's something that I wanted to do anyway. And I think it was a bit time consuming. Well, no, it wasn't really time consuming as such. It was just, a little bit of an extra piece of work to do for the basing rather than just plain desert basing. But as a project, well, as a 50% finished project, I think they've come out really well, and I'm really pretty chuffed with the results. Right, well, I hope you found the update interesting. If you've got any comments or questions, just leave them down below and I'll certainly respond to any comments and questions. But as always, thanks for watching, take care, may your dice roll well, and I shall catch you all in the next video. So bye bye for now.